We're backstage at Prabal Gurung. He was very much inspired by this army of women seeking empowerment in the Ukraine, fighting for women's rights, and these kind of judo outfits with their amazing embroidery. And he was talking about the female form, and he wanted like a kind of quiet empowerment. He didn't want it to be so obvious, like as in that Amazonian way. So he wanted the girls, even though there's a lot of elaborate, intricate work on his fabrics and a very kind of graphic shape, he wanted the faces of the girls to feel very fresh. So the way that we're translating that is very fresh skin, a little bit of concealer, gelled up eyebrows, lip conditioner on the lips. You know how some people naturally are blessed with that lovely kind of brown shading around their eyes that kind of just brings out your natural features? We're doing that with a bit of brown cream, and we're mixing two colours, like a cherry and a kind of raspberry cream blushers across the cheeks, and then we're mixing a little bit of brown cream blusher on top of it, just so you get that, again, that kind of natural, ruddy, healthy glow that one would get if you're a kind of 17-year-old girl in the Ukraine doing a bit of judo karate in the open air. It's very youthful, it's very kind of pretty, forgiving, and it's a great runway to real way look.
Collection Fall 2013, it's all about empowerment and regiment and femininity. While reading about empowerment, I was curious about what's happening around the world, and then I saw this group of girls in Ukraine called Asgarda, and there's a lot of trafficking that happens there. So they're this group of young girls united for self-defense. They're training themselves and all that. And then when I read, Pentagon has lifted the ban on women in combat, that kind of like sealed the deal for me. That made me do more research, and the US Army also is actually redesigning women's uniform. The first uniform I'm looking itself is like tapered shoulders, tapered waist, flared hips. So that's kind of set the tone for everything. And all these harnesses all this draping is following those lines.
This glam to give to the military a touch very feminine and sexy. Usually the military is the combat we use for a casual look. In this case, we use something for a completely opposite effect. This is my blade heel, and the finishing is very bright, and use the glam combination between gold and black, gold and green, all the buckle, all the detail, and the different texture of different material. This is a kind of unique design, the attention also to the different texture mixed together. We see the crocodile, the snake, and the black leather all together.
I thought the show was full of lots of things you can wear. There was some amazing details and femininity, and the coloration was really balanced. Started out with army green, which kind of set the idea for what he was trying to do, and then he took it into a navy story with gold buttons, and it looked a little bit more classic, super chic.
Well, I have been a fan of Prabal since day one. He knows how to marry understandable with wonderful print and texture. And his aesthetic is really very international because he didn't grow up here, so he really has picked from all over the world.
I'm a fan. I love his structure, the structure of his clothes, but I also love the prints. I'm always into kind of beauty but edgy, and I think he does that very well. Today, I actually have on something very different. I think we know him for his prints a lot, but obviously I'm wearing all black. But the embellishments on it, it definitely fits in with my wardrobe.
What does empowerment mean? It just doesn't mean uniform and everything, but it also means totally embracing your femininity and, you know, being the woman and being comfortable with being feminine and using that tool.